All right, 6th grade, part 2, writing the fractions as percents. So I'm going to just flip to a clean page. So to write a fraction as a percent, we can write the fraction in decimal form. And then we're going to go from a decimal to a percent. So form. Then move the decimal twice to the right. Okay, so step 1, simplify fraction if possible. Step 2, you're going to divide numerator, which is the top number, by the denominator. And step 3, move the decimal not decimat, the decimal 2 places to the right. So, for example, if we are writing 3/8, write 3/8 as a percent. We would simplify, which 3 is prime, so we can't simplify it at all, and it doesn't go into 8. And then we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. Luckily, we've been working with long division and fractions for a bit. 8 does not go into 3, but it does go into 30. I'm bringing my decimal straight up. 8 does go into 33 times, which is 24. 30 minus 24 is 6. Eight goes into 60. 8 times 7 is 56. 60 minus 56 is 4. And I can add as many zeros as I need to. It looks like just one more because 8 goes into 45 times, which is 40. So that ends there. Now here is my decimal, and my step 3 is to move the decimal 2 places to the right. 1, 2. So we have 37.5%. So there is our answer. We wrote 3/8 as a percent. Alright, so we're going to write each of these fractions as a percent. How about 3/25 and 14/16? Well, we might need lots of room for long division, huh? Alright, so again, 3 is prime and it doesn't go into 25, so I can't simplify this at all. So I'm going to divide my numerator by the denominator. So my big number is going on the outside here, and we're expecting this, since it's a fraction less than 1, we're expecting it to be a decimal, right? So it would make sense for us to have to be here. So 25 does not go into 3. I'm bringing my decimal up. 25 goes into 30 once. So I would subtract 25. 30 minus 25 is 5. Bring down the 0. 25 goes into 50 twice. It's nice to work with quarters, right? So now I have 0.12 or 12 hundredths. Remember, a percent is per 100 or per cent. So we move it over 2 places and we have 12%. 14/16. We're going to first simplify, right? So I notice they're both even, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take 2 out of the top and 2 out of the bottom. So I divided 14 by 2 to get 7 and divided 16 by 2 to get 8. Now I'm going to divide my numerator, which is 7, by my denominator. 8 does not go into 7. It goes into 78 times, which is 64. I subtract, I bring down. 8 goes into 67 times, which is 56. Does this look familiar? And 8 goes into 45 times. So now to change this decimal to a percent, I'm moving over to 87.5%. Okay? You want to practice one with a whole number, because that is a little bit trickier. 1, let's see, is this number 3? 1 and 7/12. So I propose that we know that this is 100%. So we're going to add 100% to whatever percent this is. I can't simplify 7/12, so I'm going to divide the numerator, which is 7, by the denominator, which is 12. 12 cannot go into 7. We're expecting this portion to be less than 1. We're expecting it to be a decimal, right? 12 goes into 70. Just 5 times, right? Which is 60. 12 goes into 100. 9 times would be 108. So it has to be only 8 times, which is 96. Twelve goes into 43 times, which is 36. And look, I'm going to continue to get 3 over and over and over again. So I'm going to have that repeating. So now when I move this over, I have 58.3 repeating percent. And I have to add that to the one whole that we had. So I would have 158.3 repeating percent. You could just say 0.3, or you could even round to the nearest 1 if you were told to do that, right? So let's practice one more of those, because it both practice adding 2 parts. Since we have 1 and 7/12, that's 2 parts, right? And it also helps practice this fraction to decimal. So 2 and 5/6. I know this 2 is 200%, so I'm adding that to something. And I know this part is going to be a decimal, so I'm taking 6 into 5, or 5 divided by 6 will not go into 5, so I'm bringing my decimal up. It goes into 58 times, because 6 times 8 is 48. 6 times 3 is 18. Oh look, there's going to be another repeating. This is so rude. 6 times 3 is 18, so 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 again. This time, however, we know that this is the decimal is what is going to be repeating. So we're going to add 83.3 repeating percent, which gives us 283.3 repeating percent, right? 283. Good deal? All right, let me know if you have any questions. Remember, if you haven't watched the first part where we talked about writing a percent as a fraction, go back and watch that video as well.